Okay, good morning, good morning. This is the Residents Council meeting for September 18th. It is 10 o'clock, call the meeting to order. First, a few announcements. With the resignation of Kathy Kelly from the council, we processed several applications and folks to replace her. And the council decided last couple weeks ago to offer the position for the next 15 months to Caroline Lavenhard, who's accepted. She will be now acting on the council. Welcome aboard, Carol. Okay. The other thing is this morning we are experimenting with the electronic gathering of the meeting. It's the little setup behind me. It's recording, it's not recording vocal, it's not recording visual. So you can stick your tongue out and it won't be captured, but I will notice it. But what I'm asking is, please, when you're called, if you want to say something, please identify yourself before you start talking so the machine can do that. And we will begin with the ears session. Do you have anything from the floor for the ears? Okay, seeing none, we move on to the.
Wait, sorry. I do. She needs to use the mic.
Yes.
Yeah. Do I need to use the mic?
Yeah.
Well, I know how to use the mic. So this is, I just have a question that. I'm Taylor Eskew. There you go. Yeah. This is just a question because I guess maybe don't know where to look for the information. Did the Residents Council review and approve the community gathering compliance thing that we're being asked to sign? Or I'm being asked to sign as activities committee person? That's all.
It was presented to us, yes.
Okay, nobody at the Residents Council, I mean, at the activities committee actually knew the answer to that. Okay.
Okay.
That's all.
Anything else? No? Okay, we'll move into our meeting session. I would like to have an approval of the minutes from the September 4th meeting.
So move.
John and June. Okay, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? That's up. Looks like 1-0. Approval of the association meeting from August 27th. Larry and Evelyn. Any discussion? Okay, having none, all in favor? Thank you, 9-0. Now the approval of the executive session of September 4th. And I'll take a motion on that. Okay. Mel and John, all in favor? Thank you. And the 8, no abstain. Thank you. All right. Okay, item B, communications received.
None.
Sent.
None.
Like. No, on there. Okay, the, for old business, there's a motion for the council to approve a policy and procedures for the nominating committee. This came about from several meetings ago when Dave Smith was running as president of the organization. Council has been working on a policy and procedures that will be adopted today as Article 6 of the addendums of the bylaws. And need a motion to open this conversation. Larry, and second. Molly. Okay, it's open for discussion. Go ahead, Molly.
I would like to suggest the addition to the item 6, residence council directed policies and procedures. So that 6.2 would read, members of the council shall not serve on the nominating committee. This is the sheet that you had sent out before, and that would mean renumbering the items after 6.2.
It sounds reasonable. I think that, maybe it was inferred, but it doesn't hurt since we're putting it in as a policy to go ahead and do that. Any further discussion? Hold on, Carl.
Why are we doing that? It hasn't been done in the past, and there have been times when members of council have been on the nominating committee.
Hold on.
Rodman speaking. There have been times in the past where members of the nominating committee have been members of the council. So I'm asking, why are we doing this now?
It was part of a policy that was written about 2 years ago, 3 years ago. That was in the addendum to policies and procedures, part of the then current bylaws. And it was removed by the council at that time as, I guess, not needing it, but right now, the question is, it should be, I think, a separation of the council present with the nominating committee's work.
There have been times in the past where it was felt necessary for members of the council to be on the committee, so I don't think we should approve this.
Well, to speak to it, it seems to me that it might be seen as, what's the right word? Influential. To have, yeah, sort of conflict of interest to have a member of the council serving on the nominating committee and thereby able to influence the nominating committee to put people up for election that the council likes in advance.
I'd like to answer that. I feel that there's a notion that the nominating committee is deciding who are the proper people to be on there. And I would like us to soft pedal that notion. The nominating committee is there to enable people to have a reasonable election easily run, but not to decide who are the people. The people decide themselves who are running.
The question in my mind is, if there's an occasion where a current member of the council is going to choose to run for a second term, they should not be potentially part of the committee that is arranging for the nominees.
No, then you're missing my point. My point is that person will run whether the nominating committee likes them or not.
Not a question of liking. It's a question of
Whether or not the committee feels that person is the committee's job, I don't feel, is to decide who is adequate to run and who isn't.
it just, in my
Voters decide that.
just doesn't look right that a member of the residents council who is seeking re-election also serves on the nominating committee, that's all.
Any other opinions on this? Okay, the motion then is modified to allow that article to be added, that residents council people sitting are not allowed on the nominating committee. And that'll be adjusted to that. Is that acceptable? Okay, Based on that, I move the motion to approve it with that modification. Those in favor, raise your hand.
Question first. This is to go to our policies and procedures.
Correct.
There is no intention at this point to put this into the bylaws.
No, it's an addendum, it's part of the addendum of the bylaws.
But it doesn't have the strength of bylaws. It can be changed at any time by the committee. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct.
Thank you.
But it does define for everyone as a resident, what the nominating committee is basically proposed to do. What is their purpose? Is it, the first article reads, council will form a nominating committee as an ad hoc for the sole purpose of soliciting qualified residents, administering a community-wide election for replacement of council members whose terms are expiring. That's what their task, that's what we assign them to do. We're to be in charge of that. So I think with that, the conflict of interest idea is more prevalent, that we should have that in there. Okay? So, any further discussion? No? Okay, I moved questions, so take a vote. Those approving it with the adjustment, say aye. Raise your hand. Those opposed? Those abstaining? Okay. We have an 8-0-1. Motion's approved, and we will update the bylaws to version 9/18/25 that will be in the book, hopefully sometime today. Okay, thank you. Okay, no further old business. We'll go through council committee reviews. John, if you'll hold a minute. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah, I just wanted to, the Sustainability Committee has not met, so there's no report, but I wanted to remind you that on October the, I think 11th, from 11 to 3, there will be a repair cafe. It'll be in the pack, it'll have its usual format, and anybody who wants to volunteer should contact Yakov.
Three committees here, the library committee, book count for the month of 181. Went out 500 new books.
Can you begin those?
500 new books is what they take in a year. And, so far. So I think that's amazing. We also have done a lot of weeding out of non-circulating books. If it doesn't circulate for several years, they take it off the shelf to find a spot for one of these new ones. Dave Roberts spoke to them, and I have to say this to anybody on the committee. The library committee was probably the most proactive committee of any committee I've been on or watched on the new constructions. They, as soon as it came out that they were gonna do all this work out here for the pack, they were on top of it. And they really, I wouldn't say they hammered Dave Roberts, but they really asked him a lot of it in incredible questions. And Dave explained that the pack will be coming up in the first phase, and it's going to involve changes to the library. That first phase is going to take 18 months. They're going to be blocking some of the windows that will no longer exist in there, changing the lighting and the doors, and undertaking all of the bookshelves out and adding our new ones, which will actually increase the amount of linear shelf space that they're going to have. But in doing that, they're going to take all the books out and put them in boxes, and they've already looked at companies that professionally do that so that they don't lose books or they don't get put in the wrong shelves. And that they're, like I say, they're on top of this. they're looking at the furnishings in there and the possibility of recycling the furnishings in there and also analyzing the new furnitures. And front table for October, it's beyond books, and for November, it's going to be local history. Any questions?
Thank you.
Okay. The next one on my list is Rove. The first discussion in the Rove was about the council event with the Rove and the benefit funding and how successful that was. They looked at their annual income and they're about $9,000 short, but that's not unusual exactly at this time of year. There are 94 people who do not contribute via the $100 or more a month from a monthly service fee. But they know that 50 have pledged. They just haven't received their pledges yet. And that's coming up very soon. People should try to get those in by the end of September. They developed a schedule for the Rove on the information table out there, which was already gone by. And they did a lot of brainstorming on how to get the information about Rove out, including the BraidNet and the other items that wearing tags on. I'm a Rove member, asked me about it, and a lot of stuff. And the next meeting will be on October 13th. Any other questions on that? Okay. Benefit. The fund balance for the benefit fund is $201,103.74. Sue Close was normally there, was not there, but she had some ideas for him. The aquarium, which is there, when I looked at it with my grandson, it was fascinating, but they have 4 fish in and they've added a 5th one as it gets more, the tank gets more acclimated to saltwater conditions. They're going to start adding brighter, prettier fish in there. They explored a petting zoo, bringing it in, but which Sue Close looked into, but the expense was going to be way too much, and they're going to bring in things like gerbils and hedgehogs and things, stuff like that to the health center, so that, that's it type thing. And they discussed other ways of bringing those things in. Insurance was a main problem. One of those animals bites at one of our residents, somebody's got to pay for it. Yeah. Okay. We also had an approval for scholarship grant, which we'll bring up further on in our meeting. And they talked about the Arts and Crafts Committee report. And at their meeting, they only knew of one person who had agreed to do a thing in the Arts and Crafts show for the what used to be called the Kaleidoscope. Okay. Which is Saturday, December 6th. And they also discussed a lot about the Ashokan Center and a partnership with them, because they do a lot of activities that people here would be interested, and they have speakers and things. It's possible to bring them in. They're also a 501, whatever it is, BCXYZ thing, and so it makes things up with the state, etc., easier to bring back and forth. And their next meeting is October 15th. Any questions?
I would like on the arts and crafts show. You said there's only one signed up vendor.
Yes.
It turns out there are like 4 now.
No, see, that's what I'm saying. This was several days ago.
Is that worrisome that it's so low?
Yes, yeah.
Is there plans to advertising or awareness? I mean,
Yeah,
I can do it here,
yeah,
but that's,
yeah.
this is preaching to the choir. You all know about it.
We're all reaching out. Anyone you know.
Also, they make a lot of the money at the food sale, in their raffles. So, and those are scheduled to happen if they don't have any vendors as well. So,
Okay.
so all you guys that like to cook, I know a lot of men in here have tremendous recipes for desserts. Trust me, I'm finding out.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from the council? Thank you, no. Okay, thank you, John. Larry?
Okay, nothing for the board, their next meeting will be next week. I have prepared a draft of the report that I give them every month. And that will be submitted to Lindsay tomorrow for her transmittal to the board. As for the Land Conservation Committee, some of you who have been here a while have gotten used to the bi-monthly, every other odd numbered month having a presentation. And that presentation should have taken place 2 days ago for September. And it was duly planned for way back, starting in April. And I, on occasion, would go back and forth with the sort of husband and wife team, coming to talk about the ice age and its effect on the terrain of the Hudson Valley. But somewhere along the way, they took it into their heads that they didn't care for the light bureaucracy that Woodland Pond imposes. And at some point, Michelle got involved in this, and she had a back and forth with them. And she said, she described it as they were having a hissy fit, quaint term, but anyway. And to make a long story short, they just took the Tories and ran away from the sandbox, to use her terminology, and declined to participate. So, and we couldn't do anything at the last minute that would be appropriate for our mission. So, but we have already lined up somebody for November, for the usual date in November, the third Tuesday. And that will be a woman who is a local wildlife rehabilitator. And she will bring some of her live raptors. That's it.
Any questions? Yeah, I've got a question.
Did their leaving or dropping out have anything to do with all the paperwork policy that we have for bringing in outside speakers?
It was very difficult to tell exactly what their problem was. At one point, they required a honorarium, which we hadn't previously discussed. But Michelle offered such to them, and even after that, they said, well, no, we're not gonna come, so who knows?
Thank you, Larry. Okay, only for resident committee review, looks like Evelyn.
Okay, kept it very short at the request of the chair. Mental Health and Wellness Committee, September 9th. This is the September 9th meeting of the Mental Health and Wellness Committee. The Health Center Committee and Administration was discussed. Ideas for new programs and groups were discussed. Dr. Gerda Meisel will give a talk on dementia prevention on September 17th at 1 p.m. in the park.
Any questions?
Larry's
Yeah, maybe I'm not keeping it up, but what is the difference between the mental health group and the brain health team?
brain health team mainly deals with Alzheimer's and they also do mental and all the dementias.
Is it separate from?
Yes.
Or part of?
No, it's separate from.
When was that a presentation?
September 17th.
But that's was yesterday.
Yesterday.
Then I made a typo. I will correct it before I give it to the secretary.
So when is it?
I don't have my notes right here. Okay, this is,
Okay,
any other questions?
okay.
This is the Welcome Committee. Joan Hollister was voted in as a new member. Committee discussed the transition progress of their mentees. In September, October, 10 people will be moving in, 2 singles and 4 couples. Most of the discussions of that committee are confidential. Any questions?
Okay, that does all of the committee reports and reviews. I'm still, on the agenda when I send it out, I do put down our council topics review. The capital campaign, is prepared to kick off as soon as the Department of Finance allows us to go for funding. I think if you listen to Michelle's or attended her Q&A yesterday, she did briefly talk about that, and so did Dave Roberts, that they're answering questions that they have not generated, to annoy us, I think, more than anything, but anyway, we're still hopeful to get started. Yes, Carl?
Was my understanding,
Hold on, all those things. Wait a minute. Yeah.
it was my understanding that the capital campaign is totally independent of whether or not we get permission from the state to do borrowing. What's your understanding of that situation as it stands now?
Well, it has to tie in with the program. The program has to be, they have to approve the program, putting it back on it and everything.
Who has to?
DFS, Department of Health. Any construction done here has to be approved by them.
I thought that had all been approved.
No, it's been approved by the city, by the county, by initially, the bondholders are all in line, ready to go do it, but no, we don't have the green light, so to speak. We don't have a clear path.
Thank you.
Okay, but hopefully it'll do it. That's the part of the problem with the regulations. But anyway, I'm carrying that until the campaign goes off. And then communications, we're still waiting for responses from Jason and Terrell as to communications. They have talked, I think Jason talked yesterday a little bit about some of the things that they're looking at, but more enhancements in the Garden View area or skilled nursing. So still waiting for that to come. Yeah, so I'll carry it on until we get a response. Okay, so, new business, was a change in the agenda. I didn't have anything, but was asked yesterday to add, new business benefit fund.
Okay.
The benefit fund approved a request for $3,000 for scholarships for staff.
Do you have the paperwork?
Two separate forms.
Right. And so you're asking a motion of the council
Yes, I'm
to
asking to
accept this? Okay, the motion is made by John, second by Larry. Discussion, any questions from the council? Okay, this is very much aligned with their program, and it's for scholarship for employees. Okay, in discussion, all in favor,
Does
say
it
aye.
say what kind of scholarship, where the money is, where they're going?
No, it just says scholarship fund for employees.
Next.
Usually it's employees that have registered in to become CNAs or LNAs, so.
Wait, it doesn't say.
No. No, not at this point. It's, what they provided and then people apply. Any other questions?
So John, we're being asked to approve the money and they will later choose who the scholarship recipients are.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that clarifies it. I
We do this twice a year, I think.
believe spring and the fall as they get through the semesters. Okay, open for vote, all in favor, say aye. Negative, no? Okay, 9-0, thank you. All right, John, I'll sign this and then present it to management for their signature. Okay. All right, that ends all new business. We have no management discussion today. Floor is open now for our second year session. Please identify yourself.
Lynn Rothman. I didn't quite understand what transpired vis-a-vis the potential speaker that wasn't happy with coming here. Could you tell us who the speaker was, what the issue was, and so on, in a little bit more detail?
Yes, the speakers were a husband and wife. He was an emeritus professor of geology at Hartwick College, and she is a retired biology teacher at Dutchess Community College. Together, they style themselves Catskill Geology. They have a website known by that, and they also have published a number of books, specifically one concerning the theme which we were hoping they were talking about, which is the Ice Age in the Hudson Valley, and that book is in our library. And we were, as I said, we started the whole process being in touch with them back in April, and because we'd like to do things ahead of time, because it takes a lot of back and forth before everything is set up, and but come late August, they took exception to is not clear what.
Well,
And
maybe it's worth finding out a little bit more. I'm over here, Larry. Maybe it's worth finding out a little more. Maybe it's something for us to look at in terms of our paperwork. Cause you sound like you're blaming them and they sound like kooks in some way, but maybe it's worth our looking at our own paperwork and asking whether there's something to be improved
You want me
on.
to read all of Michelle's one-page email about that? I can offer it to you, or you can attend the Land Conservation Committee meeting at 3 p.m. tomorrow, and I will read it there.
Right, any other?
They offer no specific problem.
Well, that's too bad. It might be helpful to get a little bit more information so we can learn from it. That's all.
Any further? Any other ears? Jakob.
This is a general observation. I've been
Please,
sitting,
Jakob.
Yakov Pittman, I'm sorry. This is a general observation. I served on the council for several years. And we had a relatively open attitude to people from the audience to interject to the things that the council was dealing with or presented with. And I understand that for the last, at least, I would say 2 years, on behalf of making the meetings more efficient, perhaps, we are not allowed to interject to anything that is being discussed. And I feel that this is counterproductive because it feels from the audience that we are just seeing a show, but we have nothing, no opportunity to intervene in any of the things that are being discussed. All the time, or even before this is being voted for or rejected or so. So I would like the council to consider that policy or that, basically not the policy, but I mean the habit, and allow when there is something concrete that it's probably of interest for people sitting here, as well as people on the audience on Zoom, to be able to interject.
I'm new here on the council, but I sat out there for a long time, Yaakov. And any time that there was a question, particularly during the committee reports, all I had to do was raise my hand out there. And if the chair recognized me, and Glenn could have done this today when Larry was talking, if you'd raised your hand up, it's a good possibility that your question would have been asked at the time because the chairperson could recognize you. So I don't see that it's designed to it's designed to keep people from talking amongst themselves and just interjecting things without any recognition.
20 minutes ago, I raised my hand about one of the issues that were discussed here about the nomination committee, and the chair said, waved me off.
I thought that that was why we had instituted the second ears session, so that people hopefully would remember what the issue was and can bring it up at the second ears.
The hopefully part.
It's very practical and very beyond the, water under the bridge at the second year is what I was going to say. So I understand the need to be efficient, but sometimes it's taking it to a point where it makes it improper, in my opinion.
I think especially if you're gonna have a vote on something, it's impractical for us to comment afterwards. As far as the statement that I could have raised my hand earlier, I didn't want to be disruptive to the meeting, and that was the rule. If you have a rule, then it should apply to everybody, and we should stick to it. I think it's any time that there's gonna be a vote of the council, I would think at that point, before the vote, it should be opened out to the audience. And I think that's reasonable. I don't think it would be disruptive. I think it would be helpful to everybody.
I'm Fred Walensky. This is a meeting of the Residents' Council. It's not the Residents' Association meeting. So I think the council should be able to have their meeting efficiently, and the people here will observe, and there are opportunities at the beginning and the end for them to ask their questions. But to keep being interrupted during the process of the council, I think would become a free-for-all and not allow for efficient running of the council session. That's my opinion.
Was it?
Okay,
Joe Jagger, was it a free-for-all in the past?
Has been.
Really?
yes,
Oh, okay.
yes. Could have been, but anyway, any further ears?
The council does have executive sessions where they can talk about important things without being interrupted. I think if this is a public meeting and we're gonna talk about it after the fact, we could talk about it before a vote, and that would make perfect sense. I don't think anybody can dispute that. I'm sorry, Fred.
Okay. All right, any other new topics, from the year session? Seeing none, I have no management discussion today, and I think I've said that. So, this time I will call for motion to adjourn. Carl, and a second by Mel. You all want to raise your hands, say goodbye? Meeting's over, thank you. All right, next meeting, October 2nd. one of